Okay, good morning. It's a beautiful day for a lot of reasons. I'm Jasmyn. I am a marketing communications lead right at Lush. I have been very close to this hair care range, so I'm really excited to do something that I do all the time, freshen up my braids, and we have a very special guest.
Oh,
Hey,
there he is.
how's it going? So my name is Hindz. I'm a digital content creator right now in the area of wellness, self-expression, creativity. I have like a daily podcast, YouTube, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm just content's my thing every single day.
Okay, so the two things. You're like all about positivity because obviously I've listened to your
Positive
podcast.
vibes. Yeah,
Positive vibe tings, right?
vibe ting.
I did it
Exactly.
right. I did it right.
Yeah, you did it. You're on top.
Okay. So before we start, I'm gonna put you on the spot
Yeah.
and could we like have like a nice like feel good moment before we get into all things hair? Give us your
Mm-hmm.
positive vibe tings for January 20th, 2021, a very special day.
Today is a special day. I mean, it's a big transition, moving into a whole new space. It's a new year regardless. Something I always keep close to my heart is I believe our highest form of nutrition is in our expression. So like expressing who we are, like our individuality is like the greatest gift we can give to the world is our unique self. So I always say like each person is a gift to this planet. And regardless of everything we went through in 2020, now that we move into this new year, I think it's like an amazing year for everybody just to open themselves up. We
Okay,
good?
yes, we
Little
good.
snappies?
Yeah. Okay, and then another thing that I did is and also Heinz, I'm not a tea drinker at all.
You
So
coffee drinker?
I'm a coffee drinker, but I thought that because I'm in Vancouver, where are you?
Well, I'm like,
A little,
I'm Vancouver pretty much, but
yeah,
I'm like
pretty
Tim
much.
Meadows.
Okay, so I wanted to support local, so I did the Wise Monkey, the ginger lemon.
Oh, I've seen that in some shops.
Yeah,
It's
so
got an interesting logo.
so I'm gonna try this out.
So you never drink tea?
Not really on the regular. I
Really?
know. I should try more often. Maybe I'll put
I'm
the
trying to convert coffee drink. It's a part of my like mission in life is to convert more coffee drinkers to tea.
well, add me to the
I'm
list.
on it. I'm working you down.
That's perfect. Okay, so obviously you've been using the products. First, how's it been? How's it felt? Tell me what you've kind of like loved about it since you've been kind of using them for a little bit now.
Yeah, off top, I really liked one, the smell.
Hmm.
It was just like nice to like crack it open and be like, whoa, that smells like really good. That smells amazing.
Right?
And then two, the ingredient list, because having locks for me, it's been a very like natural journey. So I've only put things in my hair that was like 100% natural. Like when I
Hmm.
first started growing my locks, there's like a lot of aloe vera, African black soap. So a lot of times when I go to shops, there's not really a lot of products for me to put in my hair. So I don't go to like beauty spots or Shoppers Drug Mart or anything like that.
Yeah. And did you find like especially like I grew up in Edmonton, Alberta, so there
Ooh.
wasn't a lot.
I was born in Calgary. I grew up in
Oh,
Calgary for a
wait,
bit.
look at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there
Yeah.
wasn't really a lot of black owned businesses or even like black hair salons or really anyone to
Right.
teach me. So, I mean, to talk about hair journeys and as we get into it, it's I'm sure you can probably express how tough it's probably been. Um, and it took
Yeah.
me a really long time to love my hair and to love a lot of things based on perceptions and assumptions of something that grows from your head.
Yeah.
So I guess how did you get to this point of being on your journey with locks and like why?
I mean, when I started growing them, it was probably like 5.5 years ago. And I was just making a lot of changes in my life. Like I was just starting to think different, like eat different. And it kind of
Hmm.
just like the expression of growing my hair just kind of like came with it. But at first, I actually had my sides shaved. Like I had the sides shaved
Ooh.
and I had the top growing. And at the time, I did it mainly because I actually wasn't comfortable growing a full head of locks because I shot a lot of like wedding videos and like corporate videos. And I was like going into these spaces and I told myself like, oh, I got to be able to clean myself up when I go into these spaces. So I would always have my hair tied up, right?
Mm.
So I've had my locks for like 5.5 years. It took me 4 years to become like actually comfortable with them. Like I
Yeah.
never tie my hair up. I actually grew my sides out because I realized I'm like, nah, I gotta fully commit. So
Yeah.
like 3.5 years in, I was like, okay, I gotta grow my sides out now, and that's gonna be awkward,
Mm-hmm.
like to grow your sides out halfway through your journey. But about, I'd say like a year ago, I realized I'm like, oh, I'm finally comfortable with my hair, and this thing has been on it's been on my head for 4 years, and it took that long.
Isn't that like I've had these conversations with so many people, and I think the last live on Monday where Haley and Rochelle, they talked about that it really took, like it took me until like maybe a couple years ago to like not straighten my hair every day just to like
Right,
fit in, right? Like, and
right.
it's sad. And so I also told the story yesterday is I was getting my hair braided, and my hairdresser, she has a little girl, and if she's watching here, this is a great story. And I listened to her talk about this little girl talk about how much she loves her hair, and she's a little black girl. And I was just like, I
Hmm.
never felt like that growing up. And I
That's
don't even
amazing.
know what it would feel like to be like 5, 6, 7 years old and just like love your hair. So I'm so excited that a lot of the work that a lot of people are doing right now are giving space to young kids to love their hair. So here we
Yeah,
are. And I
you
think it
know,
like with these products itself, it's like it's just all about family and a lot about history and a lot about beauty. It's great.
yeah, I noticed that it's got like the names on it and stuff, like
I
renowned.
know. Because that Lush is very much known for their names. So,
Yeah.
and it comes to like wearing locks and I guess like braids, I get what you're saying. It's like, okay, for some reason we feel like it's messy. I have no
Right,
idea why. It's
right,
just these things and these ideas that have been put into our heads. And let's be honest, it's not.
right. I
um,
actually had to correct somebody yesterday or 2 days ago because I actually like my locks like when I go get it like interlock like once every 4 months, but I don't
mhm.
like it when my roots are super clean. I
Oh,
actually
me
like
neither.
I like it when it's just super natural. So when I
Hmm.
got it done, someone's like, "Oh, I love it when it's clean like that." Like I'm like, "I like it like when it's natural." She's like, "Oh, I like it when it's messy too." I'm like, "No, it's not messy.
It's not
It's
messy.
like it's not
Yeah,
messy.
it's
It's like
not
how it's
messy.
supposed to be."
Exactly. I yeah, no, I love that. And so I think it's like freshening up is more having to do with like my scalp will get itchy.
Yeah.
And from when I started wearing braids, and it's been like a little over a year, I really looked into it. It's like all making sure that your hair is continuously like moisturized and like you're still using things to make sure that it's retaining moisture so that it doesn't dry out. And so I switch my braids around like 6 to 8 weeks, and then I usually like let it be natural for a couple weeks, 10 days,
Hmm.
and then I put them back in. But it's a whirlwind of a difference if you just use the lock method.
Right.
And now we're gonna do it.
We're gonna
So
we're
what,
gonna we're
Kate?
gonna do it.
Because when we were messaging, this is you know it, but you just didn't know there was like a term for it.
Yeah, well, I thought like I thought the lock method was like when you're twisting your hair and doing like
Hmm.
interlock thing. I didn't know like the what it actually stood for. In this
Yeah,
sense, it's a whole thing.
I know, and it's super easy. So the nice things, I feel like you can switch it for like whatever hairstyle you have going on. But
Hmm.
in this case, we're gonna start with a liquid. So
Super
our
milk.
liquid is super milk. Okay, and so that's the smell, and it is so good.
It is. It actually really is good.
Like it really just
That's what I love. That's what I love about it.
yeah. And I think it's like important, like as long as like your liquid includes like a water, it's like water based, and that's kind of all you're really looking for. But I can use this for like everything because it's like that almond milk. That's what it is
Hmm.
in here that you're like smelling.
Yeah, I
And
was
there's like
surprised by that.
yeah, and then there's also like oat milk in there, and
Coconut
there's
milk, oat milk. Oh, there's a lot of milk.
yeah, there's a lot of milk. And then lemon juice is what like if I put this in at night, it's like so shiny in the morning. So that's what adds the shine, which is kind of cool
Oh,
too. Yeah. So I learned this tip from watching the live on Friday that if you're supposed to spray it in your hand, Sarah showed us this, and I was like, oh, that's so
I
smart,
definitely wasn't. I wasn't doing that.
right?
No, I've
And
been
so
doing it
because then
wrong.
you can and then you can go like this,
Right, that makes sense because then it's like even.
right?
It's evened out.
Right? And then
Yeah.
I like just do like how often do you wash your locks?
Every few days, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think that's another like preconceived notion is that we never wash our hair.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing. People be like, "Oh, you probably watch like when do you wash your hair? Like once every 2 months?" I'm like, "No." What are you talking about? Like
Absolutely not.
because I have locks, I'm so much more like it's like this plant growing off my head, so I'm like taking care of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm taking care of it.
Oh, I like that. It's yeah, we
It is. It's like this tropical
it's like
plant. You
we
know,
just like have little like plants growing on our
right? Oh, I like that aloe vera plant. It's
I
beautiful.
know. This one is like I'm trying to I had to cut a bunch of it because it was getting really big and
I like how it's in a paper bag. Is
I
that a
know,
paper bag?
right? Yeah, it's like something I
That's
found at a
fire.
store and it's just like I was like, okay, this looks cool. And then I don't sometimes I have to like separate to get to like
The roots.
the really, really back of my head.
Right.
And so like I'll clips are like a girl's best friend.
Do you know
Oh,
how many braids you have in your head? Like, do you know how many, like, I don't
I
either. People
don't,
always ask me. I'm like, I don't know.
right? But I it's been funny because sometimes like I moisturize my hair so much that it'll slip. So my braid will actually like come out.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
always like these ones, like right before I usually like take them out. Because
Right.
like my growth will come out and then the braid will just slip right off. And
Right, 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 right. Has that ever happened, like, in public?
I've went to go tie up my hair one time and one of them slipped out. But it's
Mm.
just like a casual like memento, just
Yeah, yeah,
right into
tuck
the
it in.
pocket. Yep.
Save that for later.
Save it for later.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the liquid, so the L of the lock.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite.
It smells so good. And then I'll just have a little bit of tea. Next, oil. So in reading all about this lock method and using it, basically the oil is used to retain all of that moisture. So with your liquid and then you put this in and so the third step it just boom soaks it all
Locks it.
up.
Yeah.
It's literally locking it up. So Renee's Shea Souffle. Say it like 10 times really fast.
Renee Shea Souffle, Renee Shea Souffle, Renee Shea Souffle, Renee Shea Souffle. That's easy. I got that. Renee Shea
Okay,
Souffle.
because every time
Souffle.
I try to say it,
Souffle.
I get
It
10
is
times.
like it is kind of like a bougie name. Like I kind of like it because I like nice things. I'm like, hey,
He's a bougie guy.
hey,
And so this is also, I know Rochelle talked about this on Monday. It's like my hair doesn't love oil, but my
the,
roots, my
the
scalp,
scalp. Yeah,
love
that's
them.
right.
So everybody's different, but I just love, you just put it onto your fingers and you just absorb. Ooh. And then did you ever put like just castor oil? Like growing up, I would do that too.
No, when growing up, I always just had a very short hair, bald head. I actually told myself I would never grow my hair when I was young. I said I'm gonna be
Really?
bald. Yeah, like bald fade forever. I
And see,
said I wouldn't grow a beard or anything. I'm like, oh wow, things change.
I have it in my head that one day I just want to shave my head.
Really?
Yeah. One day I just
That'd be
like want
dope
to do
though.
it. Right?
Really? You
Yeah.
just probably just gonna do it on random too, like just.
Who knows? Maybe it'll just like happen one
I had a
day.
friend that did that. He had dreadlocks that literally went past like almost down to his knees, and he had like the big Congo ones too, like the big ones. And we lived together. And then
Oh.
one day I came back home and he had no dreads. I was like, "What did you do? Where did this inspire?" He's like, "I don't know. They just had to go." I was like, "What?"
It's a form of expression,
Yeah,
you know?
I thought
And
I was gonna grow. I thought I was gonna cut my hair at one point, but after I grew my sides out, I'm like, nope. I'm going until
because
they're
that's,
old, like, gray and like I'm hyped. I'm hyped when I'm old and have gray dreadlocks.
yeah, and I think it's like we like really spend so much time doing our hair, and it is like this therapeutic process in my like self-care routine that like I love it.
Yeah,
It's like my me time of like really just like you get lost in your thoughts because it's just you're doing this like easy behavior of like
yeah,
moisturizing your scalp or like I'll twist mine a little bit and I
right.
just it's just yeah I get like 45 minutes really just
Yeah,
to
no, I love it
focus
because I
on
feel
me.
like I feel like I created mine because I had a vision how I wanted them to look,
Yeah.
and like at the beginning I started them freeform, so I didn't even start them off like anybody twisting them or anything. So they're a lot thicker, and then
Yeah.
later I started to get them interlocked, so they started to get thin. Then they started to get super thin because I was getting them to interlock too much, and I was like, oh no,
Oh
lay off
yeah.
of it. And then I
Yeah.
allowed them to like get bigger again, and I don't know. Now it just feels like this thing of like I literally feel like I nurtured the plant myself.
That is, it's the tropical plant on our head. It's
Yeah,
perfect. And it requires a lot of moisture, humidity to nurture it and grow.
it really does,
Right?
especially
Look at
when
us.
you live in this cold climate that we're at.
Okay, but we're both from Alberta, so that's a whole
That's
other
yeah,
story.
that yeah, no, it's way worse. It's way worse. I actually tried to move back to Alberta 10 years ago, and I lasted 2 months.
What?
It was in the wintertime too, 'cause my dad lives out there.
Yeah,
And 2 months in, I was like, I gotta come back. It's like way too cold.
Vancouver is funny to me because it's just there's no snow.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
1 day maybe.
Yeah, and if there is snow, the whole city just shuts down.
Yeah, we have to be like the warmest in Canada, I feel
Hmm.
like Vancouver.
I think so,
I think so. Everywhere else gets it pretty bad.
right?
I
And
like how
if
it
you're
feels on my hands after, actually.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's one also like that has like coconut oil,
Mm.
and it's just like yeah, it has that like sweet scent a little bit, but it just glides so nice
Yeah, it's
and
very
isn't heavy. I think that's another thing. Is like a lot of oil sometimes can be extremely heavy,
right.
and then I find that if I have too much product into my hair, like that's when my scalp gets really itchy.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Same here.
so this is nice. It's just a little shea butter. I can feel that too. A long history.
I've never done my hair with anybody. It's kind of nice. It's like
Right.
a little like vibe set into hair. It's like self-care
Okay,
double up.
so this will be the next podcast. Is
Yeah,
wow, yeah, there we go. It's
there we
perfect.
go.
It's super easy.
Yeah,
Last step, the cream.
the curl
Oh,
power.
one thing I did want to know because I was creeping on the Lush website about what people thought of the products that we were using. Souffle, 5-star rating. It's a
Really?
5-star rating on the website.
That's
People,
amazing.
it's yeah, I feel like it's the up and comer. So if you, there's so many ways to use this, and if you're looking for something that's a light oil, it's really
Mm,
good. Yeah,
yeah.
I think there's like so many different ways. And then last but not least, the curl power. Okay. And then you've obviously used like avocado co. Have you used the co-wash yet?
Yeah, I used the avocado one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like in
that one was cool.
because that's the thing is like this is so easy to get
Yeah,
into your
yeah,
scalp to
yeah.
wash it.
I actually
And
love
then
that because I always use African black soap, so to have something like that
yeah,
as avocado, I was like, oh, this is amazing.
yeah. So curl power, hair cream. Final step is this will actually help if you have curly hair. This will help with your twists, your braids, anything that you're kind of like maybe setting or whatever. It'll
Hmm.
help define everything, but it also just locks in that moisture as the final step.
Just
There's a little
double
bit
up.
of
I love it.
molasses in here.
You do the
There's like,
same thing. You rub it in your hands.
yeah, I think this is like the new way of doing it. And so for this one, I really like to go like from scalp to like all the way in. So I just
All
like
the
kind of
way.
like drag it like through my hair that's like braided into here.
Right.
Oh, and that smell.
This is I say this to people when people ask me like, "Do you wash your hair?" I'm like, "Yo, I give like every strand like the love it needs." Like, what do you mean? I palm roll it like
I know.
I give
I
it
take
extra care.
I take better care of my hair when it's like in braids than when it's out.
Right.
Well, it's like if I'm gonna have to sit for hours to get them put in,
How long does that take?
I think we're at like 4 to 5 hours usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's definitely
And I have a really
process.
like tender head. So
Mm,
like David, my partner,
yeah.
it's like just leave me alone the day I get my braids done. Don't stay far away. I
Give
just
them
study.
the warning.
Yeah, and you can just like you instantly feel like I can feel an instant difference. And usually like I will put this in at night, like just do
Right.
this step before I put like my silk
Right.
cap on.
Yeah, I gotta get a silk pillow.
Oh,
The
all the
pillowcase.
rage.
Yeah.
There's so many of them out there.
I know I heard. I'm like, I can't believe I haven't been living this life already.
But it's again one of those things that like, it was so hard to find back in the day, and now it's just
Right.
like everywhere.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's definitely the coolest part that I never thought I would be able to go into Lush and get something for dreadlocks.
look at you.
Yeah.
Welcome to the space,
Right?
right?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Glad to have you here.
I feel blessed. I feel good.
Feel
I feel
blessed. I feel
fresh.
good.
Yeah.
And if you, and I mean, to go over like some of the other things that we didn't use, I mean, because I sometimes will do the co-wash and then use Glory.
Hmm.
Oh, and it's got that okra smell like nobody's business.
Yeah, the okra. I never knew okra was in hair products. That was cool.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
This is
And this
cool.
one, and it's, yeah, like we talk about like the slip with this one, and it's so, so good. Like it's just, I've used so many different conditioners, or it's just, I know it's not made for my hair.
Right,
And it's
right,
just
right,
like,
right.
boom, I've never seen my natural hair have a curl like it has after using these products. It's been very
Right.
nice, and it's nice that I can get them so easily now. Who would have thought the day would come?
Yeah, I literally have never walked into a mall and grabbed something for my hair. So it's 2021. We're in a brand new space.
I'm just gonna say, like, today's like a whole new wavelength.
Yeah, like a whole new energy, a whole new everything.
And I just, I can't stop smiling. It's just so good. I'm just so excited about everything. I mean, we're done. Like, that's completely it. The only thing I would say is make sure you go and purchase yourself something to wrap your head.
Oh
Because
yeah.
this is another thing. I'm not like a whiz with like edges, so I'm not even
Hmm.
gonna try. But putting this like all on your little baby hairs,
On the baby hairs. Yeah, I got a
yeah,
lot of those.
and then you put your little silk. I have one that like ties. If you put this part here, because that's the thing, it's like with locks and braids, this goes at the top here, and then you're able to actually like tie it.
Oh,
So then your
yeah.
edges lay flat. So when you go to
Wow.
sleep,
That's such a good silk route.
there you go.
That's perfect.
I know,
Yeah,
that's why I can't get
that's
rid of it.
perfect. No, it's
That's it.
100. I
Okay.
love it. We're good.
Yeah, we're good, but I feel like we might need one more just positive vibe.
Well, my other like big theme in life is I always say our presence has purpose. Like no matter where we are, there's purpose. A lot of times we think like our purpose is in the future or it's in this immaculate event. But like the reason why I drink so much tea is because I used to shoot like a lot of music videos and like do stuff in LA. And I found that I actually found more happiness when I was back home doing nothing. I wasn't posting on social media or anything. I was just like present at home making tea. And I was like, this is wherever I am in life has purpose. And like uncertainty is like, I think it's a good thing because it's like childlike. It's like full of curiosity, questions, and opportunity. And that's why I just tell people all the time. I'm like, your presence has purpose. Whatever space you're in, there's purpose there. Just be present and you'll feel it.
Well, I honestly think your presence definitely had purpose today, and thank you so
Thank you.
much for hanging out with me for half an hour on a beautiful day.
Yeah,
I
I feel ready
know,
for the day.
let's do it. So I will say there's one more live happening on Friday, and that is with Jaleesa and Lydia, and they're all going to talk about how to refresh your everyday routine. So check that out, 9 a.m.
Amazing.
Okay, have a beautiful day, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.